Hi, Neha Sampat, founder and CEO at Contentstack. And Contentstack is a digital experience platform that aims to power the world's best digital experiences, which means websites, mobile apps, and other really cool experiences that might be like touch screens inside stores or other digital billboards you might run across. And we work with a lot of really cool brands like Air France-KLM, Asics, Burberry, Crocs, and many others that you'd probably be familiar with. Yeah, so the only thing that's been constant, it has been change for all of us. And now it's happening faster than it's ever happened. The AI in our face. We are changing not every year, but literally every day, something new is happening and we're having to react and adapt to that change. And so when we think of the word that we chose to be the descriptor of what is different from the overall DXP category, which is Digital Experience Platform category, adaptive is the one that made the most sense for what we're bringing to the table. So we call ourselves an adaptive DXP because we think that we should be the last DXP you should ever have to buy. We put the burden on us, on my team, on my tech team, to think about everything that's coming, to react to what's coming, and ensure that we're setting up the platform to be able to support brands that are using it. And so adaptive is essentially being able to change with the times, regardless of how fast that's happening, and being able to support your end user audiences as they're going through the change with you. Yeah, I was having a lot of surreal reactions to this conference because it's the biggest one we've done, but I do believe it's the smallest one we'll ever do. And I was thinking back to the very early days of the journey when we were super scrappy and bootstrapped and we were trying to be at a booth at Developer Week. And literally we had gone to Home Depot with my truck in San Francisco and bought some supplies so we could build the booth on my driveway. We had paint, we did that whole thing. And so when I was looking around and we were setting up our partner pavilion, this is the first time we've had a full blown out partner pavilion with branding and all of that. It was a really proud moment because we've gone from being a very small, scrappy company to a company that's really kind of standing out and professional, but also continuing to focus on our customers and the brands we care about and the community around that. And I remember the first ContentCon, which was in 2022, when we walked away from a really great event. We said the most valuable part of this event was bringing brands together and then kind of getting out of their way, allowing them to connect and to build trust and to share what was working and what wasn't working and how they were getting around that and how they were working with us and how they were working with partners in the ecosystem. And that was a really important aha moment for me, that our role in all of this as a vendor or a partner is to bring customers together so that they can learn from each other, because what they do and what they're trying to do is really hard. It's transformation. And when you've got other partners going through similar things or customers you can use as a sounding board, it's really powerful. So we look at ContentCon as a community of change makers that come together to turn impossible into possible. And the more brands we can bring to the table to have those conversations, the more powerful the community. Yeah, so content has always been king. And it's been the center of the Contentstack ecosystem. The argument today is content is data, or data is content, and the two have to interoperate in order to really bring what AI can bring to the table to life. And so over the last year, we brought personalization to the table through Contentstack with our product, Contentstack Personalize. We quickly learned that customer data was an important part of that equation in order to really bring the power of personalization at scale to life. And so if you think about content management and data, and of course we bought Lytics to accelerate this part of the journey, you're essentially taking what AI can do, bringing content and data together, and creating this ability to actually contextualize what people are doing and creating those audience profiles in real time in a way that actually delivers experiences that matter and that are personal to every single person that you're trying to reach. And so that's where context becomes the evolution of where content started. So you have content, you have data, you have AI, you have the correlation between the three, which turns into context, which is super powerful. So in a world that's changing really fast, we've taken, as much as you can, a calculated approach to how we bring AI to our customers. And what I mean by that is, if you think about like the hype versus the hope, right? When people are hyping things, you're hearing a lot about the agentic world, and everybody's talking about agents, and we called it the A word on stage yesterday. And not that we're trying to avoid agents or that we won't have an agent strategy, stay tuned for that, but what we think is important is, what do customers need and want today, and what's our role in helping to enable that? And so we took a very customer-centric, calculated approach in what we're going to bring to the table as a part of the platform. And it started with the easiest and most important thing, which was generative AI needs to be built in. And we did that 2.5 years ago. Fast forward to where we are today, if you want to use generative AI in a way that feels comfortable and trustworthy, you have to be able to stay on brand. So we brought brand-aware AI to the table with Brand Kit. And so Brand Kit plus the automations that are available through our existing Automate product, plus generative AI, allow you to use AI in a way that feels comfortable and gives you the autonomy to bring some of that hopefulness to the table as you're building experiences. And then as we fast forward into new experiences and omni-channel and other ways of establishing AI principles and responsible uses of AI in your organization across multiple brands, we'll continue to bring more agents to the table, or things that we know will be valuable. But we want to do it at a pace that isn't so daunting and isn't so stressful for the brands we work with. We want to do it at a pace that is reasonable, makes sense, is approachable, and practical in everyday use for a CMS user or DXP user. What you saw yesterday and what we announced, which was essentially bringing together the acquisition that we made with Lytics to Contentstack. We offer Contentstack data and insights. And that is, again, like a very practical, calculated use of AI, because what it's doing is it's allowing you to use the data that we have, the activation, and applying that to your existing Contentstack implementation. And as users are poking around on your site, whether they're known users or not known users, unknown users, you're able to collect information about them that helps deliver an experience that's more meaningful to them. And so that whole kind of concept of we should be able to deliver a very personalized one-to-one experience starts to become a reality. And that's where you go from hype to hope, is like really bringing some of that reality into the experiences that you're already creating, you're already investing in. And we're doing that in a way that's really easy for Contentstack users.